Hi, my name's Allison. I'm a psychic medium and a farmer. Today is day 16 of milking my cow on TikTok. Today I'm excited to celebrate my 2 years of sobriety with you and tell you a story about how I received information about the delivery and arrival of my true self, capital T, capital S. My mom passed away 2 years ago from cirrhosis of the liver, aka alcoholism. If you've ever seen anyone in their final days with that diagnosis, it's really tough to see. And it was enough that I realized, hey, I don't want to do, that's not the way I want to go out. But I didn't stop drinking after she died. It took something a little bit more. So Halloween on 2023, I had an experience with a dear friend of mine that had passed a few years prior, and he showed up to me in spirit in the form of a dog with his same name. I also saw a full body apparition of him a couple hours before the dog incident as well. When I realized that it was my friend talking to me through this dog with this dog's same name, and the owner's name was his wife's name, I froze. I also knew at that point in time that if I had a drink of alcohol, that was the equivalent of a shop's closed, be back in 5 minutes sort of signal for people in spirit connecting with me. I know there's lots of mediums that can drink and do whatever and still connect to people in spirit. That's fine. I'm not saying it's not possible. But for me personally, it puts up a block. When I realized that I was having a fear-based reaction by seeing my friend coming to say hi, and I said, sorry, too busy, this is too much, I can't do this, and took one single sip, that was the last sip of alcohol I took 2 years ago today. A lot of times we think that someone has to have a real serious big problem in order to make a decision to stop drinking. I didn't have a big problem, but I wasn't the best version of myself. I realized that I was using alcohol as a social lubricant. I wasn't confident in myself, and I didn't think that people would want to experience this, me, just as I am. So I hid myself, I tucked myself away, I used alcohol as a way to let pieces of my true self come out in conversation, but if anyone didn't like that or thought I was weird or awkward or whatever, I'd just be like, oh, sorry, I was like drinking and whatever, right? And that was the big cover-up. Ever since I was a child, I just thought I was too much. I thought I needed it to be tucked away. I thought that it was me that needed to change, to adjust to what everybody else was doing. Turns out I just needed a couple thousand people on the internet that I don't know to talk to me about these super deep questions so that I can respond to them at rapid fire, because that's how fast my brain works. That's what my brain likes to do. That's what makes me happy, and there's no reason to change it. So thanks for helping me figure that one out. November 1st of last year was my very first post to publicly talk about my abilities. I made it on Instagram. I was so nervous, but I knew I had to do it. I knew I had to start somewhere. I think it took me like 45 minutes to try and make a 3-minute photo. I was so out of my comfort zone. But there was just something in my voice that told me I had to do it. And you can go look at that super cringe video now, but I'm proud of it. I think it's really important for us to document our journeys, either privately or publicly, to see how far we've come. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping me realize me just like this is just fine and is actually welcomed. Moving on to my story about my true self. And apparently my true self is symbolized by a plastic takeout bag. October 26, 2023, I had a dream. I know dream stories are boring, so I'm going to be quick with it. I was driving a car, Mr. Brainwiggle was in the passenger seat, and while I was driving this car in my dream, it looked like a carjacker was running up to me trying to take the car, and for a second in the dream, I thought about running him over, but something in the dream told me no. So as this person in a hoodie got closer to the car, I realized he was holding a plastic bag, and it was one of those that says, thank you, with the yellow smiley face. And I realized that it was an Asian guy and he had a delivery. He was a messenger for a delivery for me. I didn't know what was in the bag in the dream, but as I woke up, I realized, okay, this isn't just a weird dream. This is a message to me from source. And I started thinking about, again, zooming out, what could this mean? I'm not getting like crab rangoons in my dream. What is this special delivery? that needed a messenger to deliver me in my dreams. Later that day, I connected the dots and realized that plastic bag contained my true self. I don't know, I thought it'd be something a little bit more grand too, but So I write down the details of the dream, I tell my husband, I tell my therapist, I say it makes sense to me. My true self is waiting to be delivered. It's en route, it's on its way. And I just decided to have patience. I wasn't gonna beg for it, ask for it. It's gonna get here when it needs to get here. Fast forward to my mom's birthday, May of this year, and we did a family outing. I like to do something with my family, kind of in honor of her spirit and knowing that she's there with us. And when we were out, there was a guy that really captured my attention. He was out early morning, and it just, I don't know, something about him. And I looked down in his hand, and he was carrying a plastic bag. Thank you, with a smiley face. I was like, okay, Mom, I see you're telling me true self is still on its way, not here yet. I'll still be patient. Fast forward this week when I'm super feeling the love from all of my new friends on TikTok, and I'm scrolling through Instagram, and lo and behold, what do I see for the first and only time ever on my feed? A parody reel of an Asian guy tying really tight knots in a plastic takeout bag. Okay, what does this mean? I didn't have to think about it for long. In fact, I didn't have to think about it at all. I realized the one that's going to announce my true self has been finally delivered. That's me. That's up to me. And so here it is, my proclamation, exactly 1 year after I decided to go public with who I really am. Here I am. This is me. This is my true self. Wearing an iridescent rainbow skeleton costume, milking my cow on a beautiful autumn day. Thank you so much for helping me come to this realization. If you are thinking about or currently on your sobriety journey, I just want to let you know, me 2 years ago had no idea this is how good life could be. There's a lot of hard work, therapy, support, but at the end of the day, it was all up to me. And it's all up to you. You can do whatever you want, and life is awesome. Happy Halloween!